Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, that sounds good. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our mini multi-cutter webinar. And it's being hosted from Finland this time, so from the UK and from Finland. So just before we begin to introduce ourselves, I'm Dawn. I'm the CCO at Picote. Also in the UK, working out of the other office is Deb, who's our senior marketing manager. And she will do what she always does brilliantly, which is dropping all the information that you need into the chat while we're going through everything. I'd like to introduce you to our team there in Finland from our training centre in Porvoo. And Kimmo's there. Here's our senior training centre manager, and he's joined by our technical director, Olav. So thank you both for joining us from Finland. And I know that it's slightly out of hours for you guys there. We really appreciate it. And
Welcome.
like I said, we're really excited to talk about the Mini Multi-Cutter, which is one of our preferred tools, really fantastic piece of kit, and we'll go through that in a minute. So the main thing about the Mini Multi-Cutter, yes, you can remove concrete, you can remove any field linings, but it's also fantastic for reinstatements. So where you've lined either the main line pipe or the vertical stack pipe, you can very quickly and easily go through and open those connections. And you might want to, when you're thinking about lining those connections before you start, using our brand new inversion drum. So we wanted to just quickly present this to you before we begin. So you can line the pipe first using this, and we've got our 550 model there. Would you guys like to explain a little bit more about it?
Sure. Thank you, Don. So what we tried to do here, we tried to incorporate all of the features that we have been looking for in a drum while doing contracting. As you know, many of us here have contracting background. Me and Kimmo, we have together probably 35, almost 40 years of contracting background. And what that means then, of course, we are specialized in in-house lining. So we need to get the drum into position. So if your Kimmo want to open the brakes there on the front. Thank you. So the drum needs to be narrow enough so that it can fit through doorways, because you need to get it into position in order to use it. So we're under 60 centimeters, and if you have an even narrower doorway, you can remove the wheel like so, and then you will definitely fit through a doorway. The wheel can also now be attached on the other side in case you have a really tight space that you can only access the lining drum from one side. So this is a very creature comfort feature that we have here. Still, even though we can move the wheel from side to side, we still have water or steam feed through the axle itself into the center. So for those that are used to installing with a feed in the far end of the liner, this works for you. Then continuing on with the theme that being able to access, we need to be able to align the drum basically any angle we need. So here on the sides we have these friction bands, we call them, that allows us to align it all the way, pointing straight down, and then also all the way pointing straight up. These friction bands, they also have an additional purpose. So when we open them all the way on both sides, now we can lift the drum off the cart. And then you can take it into even more restricted spaces, crawl spaces, for example, or up through a hatch to the roof, etc. This one is a prototype. The final one has attachment points here, so you can attach a handle or something to help lifting it. So one of the most important features that we wanted here was a high pressure rating. So this has been pressure tested at 2.5 bars, and that means that our continuous pressure, the rated pressure, is 1.7 bars. That's 25 psi. So all the standard liners that you can find on the market, you should be able to install with this one. We also wanted quick access and easy access to the inside of the lining drum. So we have a large hatch here on the side. Everything needs to be operated quickly without any tools, preferably one-handed, and still be safe. On the inside here, it can be a little bit hard to see, but we have these baffle plates or these internal walls. They are like pizza slices. So keep the liner from falling over into the sides there. But if you need the extra space, you can remove these as slices and utilize that extra space that it's in the bulky ends over there. Gas spring to help you with the hatch, so it stays on itself, by itself. As I mentioned, the locks, extremely simple, one-handed. There's a safety feature. First, you open them up. If you have pressure in the drum at this point, it's not going to be able to open up because the locks are still engaged, but they relieve the pressure. It's first when we twist them that we can open it. Dual valves for simplicity, ease of use. Then on the front, let me reposition a little bit. Front here, so we have a threaded nozzle, so we can put cam lock, or like this drum has the Storz 6-inch. We also put here our own universal port that we can then feed camera through, or smart heat, and we will have a feed pipe for steam, mixed steam, or hot water.
Fantastic.
Then another feature about the cart. So of course, big wheels, a good ground clearance so that you again can get it into position where you need it, gravel pathways, etc., or door sills, stairs. And we also put the center of mass a little slightly to the back wheels, so it's 40% of the weight, 60 or 40-60. So when you put a 20 kilogram weight, half a meter in front of the drum, it will still be stable. That's empty. And then when you fill it with liner, it will definitely be stable. So this won't tip over if you put a heavy equipment on the front there. That makes it also UV ready. That's that about the drum.
No, that's fantastic. Thanks, Olav. I just wanted to take that opportunity just to show everyone, because this is now available, just so you know, from your Picote reseller. The 780 version is coming very soon, but currently this 550 version is doing 2-inch up to 9-inch pipe with 45 meters, or nearly 150 feet of liner for DN100. And then we'll be doubling that with the 780 more or less. So we just wanted to show you that, but now that I think most people have joined us, we can move on to the start of the show, which is our Mini Multi-Cutter, which we're very excited to present to you once again. The Mini Multi-Cutter is for 4-inch and 6-inch pipes, and Kimmo's going to show you how easy that is to switch up while we go through the presentation. It's, like I said earlier, fantastic for very quickly and very efficiently opening connections when you've lined the pipe. So whether it's your mainline pipe or your vertical stack pipe, it's very, very straightforward and simple using this system. And the system is powered by our mini miller with HD camera, and that's really important. It really is the power behind it. And again, Kimmo will explain why that is while he gives the presentation. But very excited. You can do 16 meters as standard with this, which is around 50 feet. but you can add an extension, which then would allow you to go up to 26 meters or around 82 feet. So, Kimmo, I'm going to hand over to you, and thank you very much. If anybody has any questions, please type them into the chat, and if we have an opportunity, we will answer them while we go along. Otherwise, we'll answer them at the end of Kimmo's and Olav's presentation. Okay, and in the meantime, Steph will be putting all that information that you need also into the meeting chat as well. Over to you, Kimmo.
All right, thank you, Dawn. So here we have the Mini Multi-Cutter, and I just go through all the details, what I have, what it consists of. So basically it works with the mini miller. So the shaft connects here. It's a normal shaft connector in the end, and that will turn the cutting head in the front. And then we also use a compressed air with this, and the compressed air is only doing this lifting of the cutter arm up and down, so you can do the reinstatement or remove concrete really precisely. And it works with our push rods. So the push rod is how you move this back and forth in pipe and turn it in the pipe. And also the compressed air is cleaning the lens of the camera. So when all the debris and all this dust is ending up in the camera, you can clean it with the compressed air without taking the cutter out from the pipe. And the compressor we are using, it's really affordable. This is like 100 euros, and it's 10 bar or 145 psi. So you need to have that pressure to make the mini cutter to clean the lens. But this is not expensive, and you can use basically any compressor, but this is just like one example, and this is affordable. So I go through the box, what the cutter is includes in the box. So I just adjust the camera a little bit. So here we have the cutter. We have the centralizers. So it comes, the mini cutter is for 4-inch pipe or DN100. And if you're using it in DN150 or 6-inch pipes, then you have these centralizers. So it comes with one set of these. Then we have this control handle. So we use this to adjust the drill, or like when we do the cutting, this is how you control it. And in this control unit, we have this airflow control, and this is how you can adjust the lifting arm sensitivity. So if you want to have it to go up fast and down fast, you can do that. Or if you want to have it more kind of like going slow up and down, then you can also adjust it. So everybody can find their own setting and how they prefer to use the cutter. And here we have basically two buttons, so up and down. And this also depends on the user preference and how you set your flow from this potentiometer. That I prefer to use this, that I just click this when I go up, and then when I go all the way down, I just press this and it will go down. Also, the cleaning of the lens is working when you press this up button and you just hold it. It goes, turns the cutting head up, and it will clean the lens. And this is where you connect your compressed air. And this is where the push rod is connecting. So really simple handle. And then we also have these different extensions for the cutting heads. So short and long one. We have different cutting heads included in the box. So now we are using this one to reinstate the liner. And it also includes all the tools to that you can add the cutting heads, and you can add the centralizers. But yeah, next step is I'll show how to add the centralizer for the cutter.
So the centralizers, Kimmo, they're taking it from doing 4-inch up to being able to do 6-inch pipe.
Yes. So here I have the centralizer kit. And now the drill is set for 4-inch or DN100. So what I need to do, I need to remove this wheel. And it's with 2 screws, I can go through the wheel and unscrew this 2 screws from here. So there is a slot in the wheel that you can pass the tool through the wheel. So this comes off. And then I have this like holder for the centralizers. I should have opened this before we start the demonstration, so I hope you don't fall asleep. It seems they did.
But it doesn't take too long, and I think that's one of the points as well. Everything is quite fairly quick and easy, and something that you can do very quickly for yourself. And that's the same with everything to do with the Mini Multi-Cutter. Any, for example, repairs or maintenance in the field are very, very straightforward, which is something else that Kimmo will discuss a bit later.
Yeah, so this also is that it's really easy to attach. So it's just 2 halves together. And soon we can go more in detail with the settings, setting up the cutter for reinstating the connection. So we can go through the final, more interesting details. So this sleeve basically replaces the front wheel, like so. And then the centralizers are installed in top of the sleeve. And then we have the front centralizer. I need to remove 1 screw to take this apart. This is pretty quick to install on the cutter. So this comes in front, and you can also see how it rotates. When the centralizer is in the pipe, the tool rotates really easily inside. And then I'll just add the second one on the back of the cutter. And then we can add, just find a different cutting head. So we can attach the cutting head in the front of the drill. And then also we can adjust the front part of the drill from here. So I need to take that screw out. So that is what you said before you push the cutter into the pipe. You need to select the angle what you like to use the drill with. So there's a screw here, and I just get this screw a little bit loosened, and then I can find my angle I want to use the cutter with. So it's about 45 degrees, and then I just tighten this screw back. So now it's set for 150 or 6-inch pipes. And you can see how easily it still turns in the pipe. Next, since we are doing the reinstatement demo for in 4-inch or DN100 pipe, I'll take a second cutter. And now I go more into the details. So we have already preset the angle from the front. And there's also one more setting. As you can see, this turns about this much. And it's good in DN100, it will work. But if you need to have this lift more, then we can unscrew this limiting screw from the body of the tool. So I'll just take this out. This is especially good if you have a resin slug that you need to take out from inside the connection. So now it goes even further. So you can also have that to go more up in some cases if you need it. But for now, we can use this limiting screw because it will work fine.
So Kimmo, one of the main things about this system is how flexible it is, isn't it? So that rubber part that everybody sees there doesn't inflate, but it does make it very, very flexible.
Yes, and the drill itself or the cutter, if I, for example, show how it bends, it's really like goes through the tight 90-degree bends, and we will demo that as well. So when we start cutting, we go through this really tight bend, and we'll prove that it will work out. So now we just add the cutting head. So we are going to use this bigger one for this demo. So all these tools are included in the box. So basically, I'll attach this extension, and then I tighten it a little bit more. And then goes the cutting head. And now I can tighten this as well, so it won't fall into the pipe. Next, I start connecting the camera and the miller and everything on the behind of the cutter. So I start with the camera. So we have the Mini Miller Plus C HD, and this is the camera connector, and it actually turns. So I can turn this connector. So one way is to I'll turn the whole cutter, but it can also the connector can be connected without turning the entire body of the cutter, and it has quite fine threads, so it's a little difficult to get it started, but now it's going. So now that is connected, and the next, I can see the lights turned on also. And one thing I forgot to mention, that the parts of the cutter, they are designed to be modular. So for example, if this camera would break at some point in the job site, you can replace it at the job site by taking the body of the cutter apart, and then the camera module comes off in one piece, and you can replace it at the job site with ease. So there is no soldering and all this kind of special work. It's not necessary. So all the parts of the cutter can be fixed at the job site. It's a 5 to 10 minute job to switch out the camera.
That's a really good point. So there's no need to be sending the cutter back to another country or something like that, for example, if it needs to be repaired. This is something that you can do for yourself, or if you feel more comfortable, you take to your local service centre and they can do it for you. It's very straightforward. In the same way that everything about this is very straightforward, the training is straightforward, the maintenance is very straightforward, and being able to make those repairs for yourself in the field is really straightforward. Another thing is, like Kimmo said, this is using the Mini Miller Plus C. If you have an existing Mini Miller, you can upgrade to the Plus C model. So you can get that camera reel to fit inside the Miller. And that comes with an HD camera, which is not HD while it's being used with the Mini Multi-Cutter, but it is HD for all of your descaling and other works that you're going to be doing separately.
And it also has a slightly larger screen, which makes it easier to see what you're cutting with this system. Yeah,
it's got a 10.1 inch screen, and it has recording capabilities as well, so you know.
So I will show before we begin the reinstate. I just show how the cutter is moving on the table, and now I'm using this. It's 75 centimeters or 2.5 feet. This push rod, so you can see it's really short. And when you get the cutter, or if you're using different tools which you can use with our push rods, you should get the short one, because this helps so much using the tools in the pipe. Let's say that if you need to add another 5 feet or 1.5 meter push rod, you can add this instead and make it more like ergonomic and easier also. So now I have this connected, and I connect the compressed air. And now that's connected as well. So with the miller, I can power up the drill. Oh, it has the emergency. So. And then with this, the handle, I can go up and down. And it depends, again, if I go all the way down with the airflow control, and then I can find my own settings. So now I'm pressing the up button, and I just find like what I like
it can be slow or fast. So now it's like going up and down pretty slowly, but everybody can have their own like preference. And it also depends how many push rods you are using, but it's a really simple way to use this tool. So we can proceed to do the reinstatement. So
in comes the lovely assistant.
yeah. Just take this off like that.
And
You can have that.
So that's nice. You can see the little setup now with the mini miller and the camera, which is quite nice. You can see how small that setup is and that small box that you had for the multi-cutter. The whole thing just takes so little space.
This one also has the swivel attachment for the box itself that you can also remove. You can lock it in a few positions also, so it won't swivel, and there's a unlock underneath.
Very good.
All right. So I'm now going to put full-length push rods in the beginning, and at the end, like Kimmo mentioned, if you end up in a, say we end up in a position that we would have this much push rod outside the pipe, then I would definitely switch out the last one for a half push rod. So grab that. That if we put that in the exact same position, it will be right here. So instead of having the handle over here, we can have it right here. So that's where the half rod comes in. Very convenient. But for now, so these are the push rod system that we use on the connection collars and packers and for grabbers also. The exact same thing. They have the specially made short Stenco connector here that you can pre-lock.
So now Olav is going in with the cutter and adding more and more push rods till he is on the right position in the pipe. So I will move the camera and we can observe how the cutter is going through the tight bend. So here we have the tight 90-degree bend. Pitää ehkä nostaa sitä. So to help the cutter go through that bend, we are using the air to lift the cutting head. So it's more like kind of like 90 degrees in the front. And then and now it went through. And as you can see, it's the true tight 90 degrees here. And you can see how the push rod is also going there really nicely. Here we also have 90 degrees, so we go again, but that's like a shallow bend.
And then you end up right back where we started. I wonder where I have it right now.
And here we can see the line connection, and we can observe when Olav is doing the cutting that how it works out.
I'm gonna have to put the full-length push rod. I estimated poorly. There we are. Let's see what we have. It's right there. See, I'm gonna just confirm that I have all the range I need, so I can adjust where I attach this handle so that I can easily spot the complete connection. All right.
And this is how it looks through the HD camera.
All right. Ready? So right now, I'm still adjusting the controls like Kimmo mentioned earlier. So I'm just getting them to where I like them, because now we have way more push rods than what we had there on the table. So that's going to affect the reaction time of the lift arm. So I'm just gonna put slightly more so that it feels like a good reaction time on the cutting head. And I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe slightly more.
And one thing with this is, with the cutter, is that when we use it with the mini cutter, it has really high torque. So even we are already touching the liner with the cutting head, we can start drilling or cutting the liner.
Like so. All right. So there's a special technique that I'm going to use here. I'm going to, like Kimmo mentioned, I'm going to have it pushed up against the liner. And then I'm going to start it in that position. I'm then going to slightly move it the whole time. So that makes a little bit more room for itself. That makes the cutting more efficient. And that also prevents it from binding up. So then when I have popped through in one position, I am then going to start to enlarge the hole. All right.
So we do have a few questions for you. What speed is the miller set at while you're doing this? not sure that they can hear us right now.
All right, so I in the front there, or for me the front, what should be closer to the camera for you, I started going through and then I started moving it around, and I pulled it all the way back to where it's where I estimated from what I saw. I'm going to have better visibility once I go through the liner more. But I just basically did one pull through the whole connection, and let's see, yeah, we still have ways to go, but that went through pretty nicely. So again, gonna go do the same drill here, and
Just before you start up again, can I just ask what speed the miller set to while you're doing this?
so right now we have the miller at setting 5 because we have it's a straight through the cutter gear ratio. So the RPMs that comes out from the miller, that is what goes into the cutting head also. In this case, we're looking at about I think it's 2200 RPM.
Awesome, thank you.
And we're using I think this is the electronic clutch miller with the plus C attachment. So it works with the original mechanical clutch and with the electronic clutch also. All right.
A very nice shot of the BusyBots logo there. So for those of you who don't know, we partnered with BusyBots for the Mini Multi-Cutter. We call it Mini Multi-Cutter, powered by BusyBots, and they're our partner in France who are helping us produce this fantastic piece of kit. Don't think the team can hear us too well at the moment, so I'll ask the questions once they've finished doing their reinstatement. Obviously, these things take a little bit of time. I mean, it's only been a few minutes, but you can see already that it's looking pretty good. If you do have any questions, now is a good time to pop them into the chat, and when the guys have finished doing this, then we can take a look at them. Another thing worth mentioning is, like Olav mentioned earlier, that it could be either version of the mini miller, whether it's the original version or the new e-clutch version, that either work in the same way with this system. It does have to be the mini miller or mini miller plus C, so it can't be the battery mini miller, for example. We do need to have that torque in those RPMs in order to get the maximum effect with the system. And for efficiency, it does have to be the mini miller. And while they're just finalising that, I'm also going to just remind everybody that the information is available on our website, picotegroup.com. And Steph will, once she's had a chance to edit this, put it out there on the YouTube channel. It'll be available on our website as well. And of course on Picote Institute. And if you haven't joined Picote Institute, it's a fantastic resource. Go to picoteinstitute.com, completely free charge. Go in there, sign up. You'll have free courses. There's access to all of those videos. You'll also have the opportunity to ask the Picote team any technical questions that you have, and they'll get back to you as soon as they can.
All right.
Looking good. Obviously, you can refine it as much as you want. You can spend a bit more time to refine it.
Okay, so then once you're done cutting, it's of course the reverse order.
So we do have some questions for you once you guys have finished doing that.
Yep.
One of them is asking about attachments. So we do have attachments for the cutter depending on what type of work you're doing. So we do have those diamond balls for if it's concrete removal or something tougher like that as well. That's included in that small kit that you receive, that travel case. But in the future, do we have some plans for the smart cutter, for sand and paper, or potentially some different styles of heads?
Yes. So we are going to, of course, try to expand. If we find a need for a certain attachment, there are at least we're going to have a more precise metal cutting attachment for this, and then the smart cutters. Those are the ones that are definitely going to be the next ones. But of course, you never know what we come up with. So
That's true. Very true. So if we could just go through some of these other questions that we've had throughout the presentation. So if you already have the setup for 6-inch, so you've got the centralizers on there, is it possible to go through a 4-inch pipe in order to reinstate inside a 6-inch pipe?
unfortunately not with these centralizers, because they are rigid centralizers.
Yeah.
So you would have to have the same access as the host pipe you are going to cut in.
So not currently, but maybe that's something that could go on the wish list.
Why?
Charlie, sure. So we've been asked if it ruptures the liner while it's in use. I'm not sure. Do you think maybe does it damage the liner? Maybe that's the question.
Excuse me?
I mean, yeah, will it rupture liner during the activity?
So where you are cutting, of course, but because you are controlling it with the handle, so you can feel pretty well also whatever is going on there, because you have direct attachment to that cutting end. So you're not working a joystick, and that is then you can't feel what is going on. So here, because you have direct control, you can feel everything that goes on the other end also.
Mm-hmm.
So here we thought we'd show you also the camera cleaning. So when I press the up button to lift the arm, at a certain threshold, we're going to dump the excess pressure onto the lens. So like that. So when the arm was in the all the way up position, the excess pressure is dumping onto the lens and cleaning that.
So there is a small air nozzle underneath the camera.
Like so.
But it's so easy.
It is.
It's so easy. And I can say that because I've used it. We've all used it. It's a fantastic piece of kit, and it's so easy. That's what Picote has always been about. It's about making things as easy at the worksite as possible. You all know by now that we have our own team in Finland that go out and work in the field every day doing lining and reinstatements. And this is why we understand what contractors need, because we're contractors. We have the same needs. We need things to be safe. We need them to be efficient, and we need them to be cost effective. And I think that you're getting all of those things in one small worksite footprint with this kit. So this is not something that you need to kit out a specialist van for. This is something you can have in your truck with everything else. And that's really one of the most beautiful things about it, is the simplicity, but highly effective.
Yeah, one good statement about the simplicity and ease of use is that we've had this at two of our open houses, but also at last year at the Rokotech trade show. They're very early prototype ones, and we gave free access to anyone that wanted to try it. So no training whatsoever, just explaining what the buttons do. And we could we actually made that into a competition so that in 3 minutes they opened they did a reinstatement with this system, and all of those that tried succeeded. Maybe some refinement, but that was their first time ever touching this system. So I think that speaks of the simplicity and ease of use, and also the robustness, because you can just throw it to someone and be you.
That's a really good point as well. So it's not that you need to have, I mean, of course, everybody needs to have some handover training, and you want people to be getting on with it as well as possible. But this is not something that's onerous. This is not something that, you need particularly really specialized training for over several days or anything. It's almost like plug and go. This is really quite intuitive. It's very easy to get going with it. And also, like you said earlier, Kimmo, it's also very easy to fix in the field if there should be any issue for any reason, because it is modular. It does come apart into a couple of sections, and those sections can be easily switched out by yourself or by your local partner.
Correct. Like the camera module that Kimmo mentioned, that's 5 bolts, standard bolts that you undo, and the modules come apart and you can switch out that system. So no soldering, no crimping. It's that easy.
And the other great thing about this kit is that it's not just, I mean, this is already enough. This is fantastic as cutters go. But additionally to that, you have your mini miller. So you're doing unblocking, descaling, cutting, cleaning with the mini miller by itself and a range of tools. Obviously with the HD camera as well to monitor and record that as well. We've got the push rod system, which can be used with our connection collars. So maybe you open that connection and you can use our connection collar system to fully seal it if you want, using those push rods. And also on the push rods, you can have a Picote grabber. So if something's lost in the pipe, or you need to retrieve something, you can add the Picote grabber and you can use it for that too. So this is really, really multi-purpose, highly functioning piece of equipment. Very small footprint, but with a huge amount of capabilities.
And because this works with the miller, you don't need to have that huge compressor to get this 500, 700 liters per minute. So it's all mechanical through the miller. You don't need this big power or like this from the socket, which you need with the compressor, or then you need like this gasoline or diesel powered compressor with, if it would have the air motor. But now it's just the miller, some push rods, and you're ready to go. And as Don mentioned, you can do so much with this, not just reinstate and do the cuttings. You can clean the pipes and do basically like many different things.
That's a fantastic point, because look at the size of that compressor. This is really just for that up and down action and for clearing the camera head. That's all that's for. So yes, it does have to be 8 to 10 bar, but it's a really small piece of kit. So overall, not taking up much space in your truck, but giving you, like I said before, a lot of possibilities. Richard's asking, hi Richard. That name sounds familiar, Mr. Swan. Is there a carborundum head for cutting out rebar?
For the moment, we have a tungsten carbide that is meant for like fibrous materials, and then we have the diamond bit that is meant for concrete. We will have one for rebar in the near future, but not yet, unfortunately.
That sounds really good. But that's the thing about Picote, because Picote is always innovating, and working with our partners at BusyBots, we're constantly looking at ways to, for the future, what more can we bring all the time. And I know that you guys are also looking at how to be able to now do 8-inch pipe as well, DN200 pipe. So again, you're looking at things all the time and improving everything all the time and listening to feedback. So if anybody has any feedback, something they'd like to see, maybe for the future, then just let us know. This is what the team always want. We always want the feedback. What do you need? Because that's what we want to make happen. Like, it needs to work for you in order for it to work for us. So just come and let us know. Everyone's contact details, by the way, are on picotegroup.com. So Olav, Kimmo, Steph, myself, all of our technical team, everyone, we're all on the website, all of our emails and phone numbers. Please, by all means, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. We want the feedback. We want to hear from you. What do you need? So please feel free to get in touch. And even if it's just that you want to maybe talk about training options, or even if you want to find out about what support services we have, if you want us to go out and site with you the first time, there are always options. Reach out if you need to find out more about our partners, what partners are there near you. You can find that information on the website. You can talk to your partners also about training and site support, or you can talk directly to Picote. We're all here for you, so please be in touch. Now, I don't see any further questions. There's a few congratulations on the great job that you have done with your demonstration. Thank you very much, as always. Absolutely fantastic job. And thank you for staying back to do that for us today. Much appreciated.
No problem.
And I know that you will be hanging back to do some more demos for us in the near future. So I'm excited to say we've got another webinar coming up on Thursday, the 12th of February at the same time, which is 3 o'clock UK time. And I'm not entirely sure what time everywhere else, depending on people are coming from. And that's going to be about our new Pro Light. So I don't know where you've been if you haven't heard about the new Picote Pro Light. We've got a new Pro Light 6mm and 8mm handheld machine for unblocking, descaling, and a range of works. Super excited. It's very lightweight, really easy, and we're very excited to present that to you on the 12th of February. But until then, like I said before, if there's any help that you require, please reach out. Steph has sent you some links in the chat already, but if there's anything else at all, please get in touch. This demonstration will be available on our YouTube and our picotegroup.com channels and Picote Institute channels in the next few days. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But in the meantime, I'm going to say thank you very much to the team in Finland. Thank you, Olav. Thank you, Kimmo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to Steph, working away, as always, in the background and making everyone's life easier. Much appreciated. And and thank you very much to everyone who joined us. We do really appreciate it. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Have a good day.